we all find ourselves transitioning to different stages of our lives at different times, right? Like sometimes you transition into a new job, sometimes you transition into a new location, sometimes you transition into a new gender. These things happen. And if you want to identify as a past era of your life, if you think of yourself as a chapter book, if you want to refer to a couple chapters as a man, right? That's fine with me. I don't care. Like, pragmatically, that's probably more accurate than pretending we were never men. Or like never boys, never male, right? Like that's not accurate either. So personally, I'm in the camp that like if you want to identify as having been a man before your transition, like I don't care. I guess that's really my stance is like I'm not about to avore somebody. First of all, I don't want to eat them in the first place. So definitely don't want to avore them regardless, but I'm not going to avore somebody because they identified as a man beforehand when literally half the time I sit here and I'm like, you know, trans female man sounds like it could be a real social role for transsexual women. So like, don't, I'm not the right person for this. I'm not the right person. I do hope today with Lyra, we're able to talk a little bit about like wokeness or like woke culture and kind of this like hyper wokeist mentality that has seemed to have permeated a bit. If your life's a story, you're in the filler chapter. Well, hopefully, well, I don't know if exciting chapters are necessarily good. There can be really bad, exciting things, right? Yeah, I can see that, Koro, but like, I don't know. What does it mean to be truly anything, right? Like, aren't we all just working towards things rather than ever fully becoming them? I don't know. Maybe that's just me in terms of like, you're not locked in until you're dead. Like, if you die as a guy, maybe you might get a little stuck in that role, right? Like, we talk about Kurt Cobain, and people are like, oh, Kurt Cobain was gender dysphoric. We talk about Kurt Cobain, and we're like, oh, Kurt Cobain was gender dysphoric. But we don't call, well, some people do. Some people say Kurt Cobain is a trans woman, right? But other people are like, no, Kurt Cobain was a man. That was a guy. Like, died as a guy. There might have been some underlying mental stuff, right? But in a pragmatic sense, there was no transition that happened. There was gender nonconformity, right? But like, I don't know. The point I'm saying is, if your final chapter is like that, then I can see why some people might want to lock you in forever. But otherwise, I don't really think it's a locked in forever type of situation. But that's just my opinion, right? So like, don't hold all trans people to me and don't use my opinion to like negatively impact other people in any way, please. Because I'm not saying that as like a hateful thing. I don't think there's like true trans or true D-trans or anything like that. I'm actually working on a video, I'm editing it right now, about like, I interacted with this really early transitioner recently, and like, it was a tough experience for me, y'all. So I was actually the first trans person this person had ever met, and they were like an online trans person, and I have a lot of experience from that experience, that IRL experience that I talked about, and it just brought up a lot of like feelings about my early transition and like the way that I have changed my like mindset and views on going throughout the world in terms of, I don't know, just the way like I understand myself, but also the way I understand the world. But then I felt like I was being too mean, not too mean, but like too abrupt maybe. Like I was pretty emotional when I recorded the first video. It was like right after we were finished hanging out. So I recorded a reaction video to it so I could like fluff it out and give some extra context. But that's what I'm editing now. But that is like really long, so I have to edit it all down. How so? You know, it was just dead state, right? So like she's down here, she's changing, but she's facing a bridge. She's not wearing a bra or anything, and it just made me so uncomfortable. And that is something that I probably would have done early in my transition or felt less uncomfortable about. That now it had me really stressed out mentally. I don't know. It was just one of those things where it was like, is that necessary to be doing right now? Anyways, that's just one example of something that happened. But it just had me like, oh, okay. That is something that we do. I understand. Anyways, that's all I got. Okay, I don't want to give too much, and I don't want to accidentally say something I don't want to say. So